Hi, have I got an idea? All right. This is On Imagination with the Healing Garden, and welcome to Shifting Perspectives. This is going to be a really, really different thing. So, this is what's going on. I have been struggling getting into writing for a while now. I have written books in 2006. That's when I first started writing, and I really, really struggled sticking with the writing. Now, at one point, I had a writing partner, a writing buddy, where I would call him up and I would work on my book and he would work on his. And I loved it because in the middle of it, we would stop and say, hey, how does this sound? And we would like read it off to each other. And that allowed me to really get to work and finish up a lot of stuff. I then went into the marketing aspect and publication. Bottom line is after my mental healing, have not been able to really stay writing since. I just can't stay focused. And I have a script that I need to write. And this morning on Philosophical Coffee, I was putting it together and I can start to see it. And I'm going, I need a writing buddy. And that would be you. So I am going to start writing this thing because I think this will help. This is a 90-minute documentary. God, I couldn't even get to this part. So it's a movie. It's a script. It's not going to be a book. And I was having a problem. I can see parts of it. So when I was 12 years old, I came up with this story. And there were parts of the story I loved, parts of the story I hated. And then I just couldn't get it off the ground. I could not write it. I could see all of it. I could see this timeline, the storyline. And it's about a girl who lives on an island. I'm going to go ahead and write this up. And this is even part of it, is I'm going, all right, where do I put this? And I used to use Dropbox for this. And I even have Scrivener. And I just have not been able to just sit down and do it. All right, let me go ahead and do this. So I am going to go ahead and create a new document. And I am so tech incompetent. It's disgusting. I cannot begin to tell you how fucking incompetent I am with tech. And that is part of my problem. So this is going to be called Bergen. What do I call this thing? God, I got to think about this for a minute. I have no title yet. So we're going to call this working title. This is a 90-minute, which means 90 pages, documentary solution film. Okay, now, characters. Bergen and Anna. Imagination. Joanna. The Fae Queen. BDSM Mistress. That's all of us. Bergen is going to be the second character. Of course he is. But he is also the defense system. Now, according to the setting is what I had a problem with. The setting is what I couldn't figure out. 100% of this film takes place inside Anna's mind. I have to show you what it looks like inside the mind. The Irish cabin. The lighthouse. When I was 12, I imagined this book. It was about a girl she lived on an island that was so primitive that books were banned. And there was a lighthouse in the distance. And it was illegal for anyone to leave the town. No one was allowed to leave the town. But she couldn't help her curiosity and her questions, which were banned. She was the daughter of the religious leader. And she would venture out of town. When she ventured out of town, she found a lighthouse off in the distance. It was like moonlight caught the glass. And she wanted to know what it was. So she got in a boat and she sailed to it. And when she asked about it, she was beaten. So she learned very quickly not to ask questions about the lighthouse. And she decided to just go out and look at it on her own. She gets there. She's gotta. And she gets inside this lighthouse and it's filled with books. She teaches herself how to read. And she keeps going back night after night. And during the day, she has to go through these religious studies. Listening to stories. But they're all interpretations passed down from her father and her father's father. And she's supposed to be learning the new translations because she's the next generation to be providing these to the people. And she kept going back to the lighthouse. And within those books, no, she did know how to read because she was the only scholar who was allowed. And her father gave her the information to read, which was rare because she was of the lineage. And it was up to her to pass down the next segment of story. And she got into the lighthouse and she started reading the books. And what she discovered was the actual truth. And how much the story had been doctored that she was being taught and told, that she grew up hearing. And as she's reading these books, she learns the truth. And then she goes back during the day, and her father is teaching her more and more about what to read and tell the people. And she has this ethical conflict of, the stories you are telling these people are not the truth. little by little, she starts to go against everybody, saying, no, this isn't the truth. And education was dangerous. Knowledge was dangerous. It was an island that lived without fire. And she tries to explain, God, I did so much research on cultures that live without fire. And she tried to explain fire to the people, but they wouldn't hear of it. They didn't believe her. And she tried to explain light, and the people could not understand. And the tension in the town rose. God, I was 12 when I wrote this story. The tension in the town rose. And they started to talk about her hanging and execution. And there was a boy in the town who helped her. And they find out that she's been going to the lighthouse, her father does. And there's these points where night after night she's in the lighthouse, and she discovers how to make fire. She reads by moonlight. And then when she learns how to make fire, she creates a fire with which to read by inside the lighthouse. And she tries to tell the townspeople about fire and light, and they won't have it. So when they're getting ready to execute her, this boy comes in and he frees her. And they prepare his execution while she runs and she goes to the lighthouse. She runs inside the lighthouse. And I have seen this for so many years. I see her running up the stairs of the lighthouse. And she sets up the tower. And she prepares the wick. And she lights the beacon. And the town freezes and stares at this beacon of light in awe and disbelief. It's part of this story. This is the story inside of her mind. I lived inside my mind. For 32 years, I was a prisoner. Trapped by my own logical maze. Learning about the Rorschach print perspective was like lighting a beacon in my mind. And finally being able to step out of my mind. And stepping back and saying, and I see Berrigan course, I see Berrigan talking to her one-on-one, saying, walking her through the logic maze to get her to the beacon. And at one point I thought about showing the abuse, and I did not want to do that, but showing the abuse. And that would be this voiceover. Like the soundtrack that just plays in the background. But inside her mind, it's her and Berrigan. And then she jumps and she's in this lighthouse story. Where she's learning. And then she jumps again. And she's there with Berrigan. I don't know if I need anyone else other than Berrigan and Anna. Joanna. I don't know yet. How do I walk you into my mind? How do I show you my story so that you can relate? It's all just a story, isn't it? Words matter. And I'm trying to figure out how this is all going to come together. And I don't know yet if Angel and Imagination, Joanna, if they're going to be part of it or not, I don't know. But Berrigan walks Joanna through. God, I don't know how to do this. I do know how to do this. I just got to find a way. I will manifest the story. I will manifest the story. All right. All right. I will manifest the story. And I see the ending where Joanna runs up and lights the beacon. While Berrigan is talking to Imagination. It's the realization that you're in a story. It's the realization that you're caught in a story. Do you hear what I'm trying to tell you? It was the realization that you were caught in a story. And that you mistook the story as reality and truth. It was the fixed truth. Those fuckers, I see what they did. I can see what they did. Fixed truth. Oh, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Fixed truth. Socrates, what did you say? Truth is subjective. Then why would you have a fixed archetype? It was the fixed truth. And I said it so many times that everyone in the world, scientists, artists, every one of us, knows that truth is subjective. Even attorneys, even court, even law, even logicians know that truth is fixed. Even chemists know that truth is variable and subjective. In fact, the only one in the world who insists that truth is fact and fixed are religious people. Rome. It was the day I learned that we were a story, a pliable, flexible, variable, a story, and nothing kills story more than fixed truth. And there is that point. You're in a story. You're in a story. Change the story. But you can't change the story if you think it's fixed. And that's what I see. Change the story. You're in a story, Anna. All of this. It's just a story. But what is truth? Truth is subjective. You're in a story. Imagination must be free to shift and move and change. Nothing destroys a story more than fixed belief and defined truth. Defined, fixed truth is the death of story and imagination. But what if you could change the story? Why this one? Why would you choose to live in this story? I wouldn't. Then why do we? Why? If society is a mindset, would we ever consciously choose this one? We wouldn't. It sucks. Then why do we? We were told we have no choice. We were told it is the way it is. Who said this? Words always begin somewhere. Where did these ones begin? Our entire culture is composed of Rome. Obedience. Our entire culture is composed of obedience. Shift your perspective, Anna. If it's just a story, turn the page. Show me the truth. Truth is subjective. Define your own. Claim your authorship. It's all subjective. Who masters your mindset? A system? A culture? Traditions? It's your mindset. Choose it. What would you want it to be? What would you create? What would you build? Enough. I want out. It's about time. Bergen. I was waiting for you to get to this point. Everyone suffers. But there is a breaking point. That moment when a person decides they have had enough. It's found in anger. An emotion that too many people avoid. You can get angry and choose violence. You can get angry and talk about it. But I need you to get angry enough to change it. How? How am I to change this? What do you lack? Strength? Resources? If you were on an abandoned island, what do you need to survive? Tools. You have tools. Doesn't do you much good if you don't know how to use them. Think, Anna. What do you need to survive? Knowledge. Information. To make the tools. To build the resources. Knowledge and information. Is the way out. I really don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't want it to be in a lecture. I'm thinking that the antagonist. Oh, I have it. I have it. Oh, I have it. Oh my God, do I have it? Oh, I'm so going to borrow from Alfred Hitchcock on this one. It's the pounding on the other side of the door and the screaming. While also introducing the first ethic. Focus, Anna. I'm going to fucking kill you. The pounding on the other side of the door. The panic. Heaven sent. Heaven sent. Heaven sent. Tension build. Sequence, 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 sequence. Sequence, 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 sequence. Something is something. Define the sequence, define the sequence, define the sequence. Bergen and Joanna. The lighthouse. Bergen and Joanna. An enumerated collection of objects in which repetitions are allowed and order matters. Like a set, it contains members. The number of elements is called the length of the sequence. Oh, it's rhythm. Oh, okay, so that's just epic poetry, metric. Bergen and Joanna. The lighthouse. The brother at the door. The war. Bergen and Joanna. The Egyptian room. Level 1. 2. Problem solving. Sanctuary. The Irish cabin. 3. Why are we here? Comfort zone. Problem solve. Emotional warfare. The pounding on the other side of the door. The panic. The door shifts against the pounding. Focus, Anna. The rising panic. The chaos. He's coming. Fear rises. Fight it, Anna. I can't. Fight it. I need to go deeper. Stay with it, Anna. She needs to be called Joanna. I can't. Scene changes. We're in the Irish cabin. Silent. The stew is on the stove. We're in the Irish cabin. Joanna falls to the floor and sobs. Go, lass. I can't do this. I can't. There is no way out. I can't do this. I can't. There is no way out. Think, Klaus. You just went through another trap door. Yet didn't escape it all. I don't hear him. No. No. You wouldn't. Not here. You're too deep into the story now. I need sleep. Restless. I'll try again tomorrow. All right. I think I'm finally underway with this thing. All right, Berrigan. Berrigan is who walked me through so much of all of this. God, I hate giving him compliments. Maybe I'll give him to you. Maybe when Berrigan walked me through it, he's what you need. You all have a Berrigan inside of you. Who he is, what he is. He is your strength. That's what Berrigan is. He's just your strength. But you think your strength isn't part of you. You think it's him. You think it's whatever is. It's separate from you. And there is that moment in your healing where you realize that the thing you look to for strength and courage is you all along. That's the difference. Thank you for your audience. May the kindest of words always find you.